Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Josh here from JR's All Things Life. And today we're going to be looking at some fantasy darts. Now, I've looked at this format before, last year, and I never got around to actually doing it. If you're not familiar with what fantasy darts is, it works very similar to fantasy football. You pick yourself a team, and they get points on certain areas and how they perform in the World Championships, which starts on the 11th of December. So I've had a mess about with this just to see how I go on about it so the video doesn't look like I'm struggling. So I've set an account up, I'm ready to go, so we're going to just play now. And anybody can join this. Honestly, it's open to anybody. All you need is an email, a username and a password, and just log in and just play along. And you can change your team all the way up to the first match on the 11th of December. And then I think there's a couple of transfer windows, but if you look at now to play, so basically, you can pick your league, whichever league you want to be. You can either join the public league or you can make a private league with your friends. You pick your players. One player will be a captain and one player will be a vice captain, and these will come in handy for getting more points. You can make changes to your team, like I said, up to the first scheduled start time of the event, which I believe is 7 o'clock on the 11th. Scoring works by basically they get more points for a 9-dart finish, and if the winner set, they get a point. If the loser set, they get minus point. There's 2 transfer windows in the tournament where you can trade your existing picks for other players in the same category. And you can make 6 transfers across the tournament, 4 in the first window and 2 in the last. Obviously, if you transfer a player out, you'll stop earning points for that player, as you can imagine. Scoring is simple. It works like this. It's good on how the player performs. For example, if the average over 99.9, they get 3 points. If they win a match, they get 3 points. If they check out over 99.5, they get 2 points. A percentage over 66 points, 66% gets you 2 points. However, if you get a under 33%, you're losing a point. A 9-dart finish gets you the most points at 15. A 170 at 3 points, 180 at 1 point. A set 1 gets you 1 point, and lose a set gets you -1. Now, this is where your captain and your vice captain come in handy, because if your captain scores points, they will get 2 times the points. If they get a 9-darter, they'll get times that by 2. And the same for your vice captain, but they get 1.5 times. And obviously, same again, they can lose that same amount of points if they lose, so they could lose 2 times the points. And then there's a couple of prizes as well to be won. So there's 3 game weeks at the moment. The winner of the first game week gets Luke Humphrey's darts. The winner of the second week gets MVG darts, and the winner of the third week gets Peter Wright darts. And there's also an overall first, second and third. If you overall win it, you get 4 tickets to the Premier League night of your choice with MVG limited edition box and a signed shirt. Second place gets you a signed Gerwin Price shirt and darts, and third place gets you a triple card dartboard and 1 signed Johnny Clayton shirt. So now I've gone over all the rules and the scoring and the prizes, let's look at the team that I'm going to select. So there's 10 players you can have all together. You need to pick a Luke, 2 favourites, 2 contenders, 2 ones to watch, an outsider, a long shot and a debutant. So I'm going to start up at the top with the Lukes. Now you've got 2 options, Luke Littler or Luke Humphreys. Now a lot of people are looking at Littler, but I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to go with Luke Humphreys, because I think he's got the fight and the determination to win the World Championship again and regain his #1 spot that he lost after the Grand Slam of Darts. So Luke Humphreys is a man I believe can get me some points. My first favourite is I'm going to go with Michael van Gerwen. Now I know that he's had a bad year. He's had a lot going off in his personal life, but I think Van Gerwen still thinks he can be in the top 8 of the rankings, and I believe that he's ranked number 3rd, so he's up there, but I think his 3rd position is in jeopardy if he doesn't do well in this tournament. So I think Van Gerwen needs to pull out the bag, and I think Van Gerwen could easily get me some points. Now looking at my second favourite, I want to go with Danny Noppert. Reason being is I think he's had quite a steady season on the Pro Tour. I don't think he's lacked many tournaments where he's had a bad game, and if he has had a bad game, it's just been one of them days. But I think Danny Noppert can produce some magical darts. We know what he's like against big players. He doesn't fear them, and I think Danny Noppert could be a crucial key link to my team. Now, looking at the contenders, first contender for me is I'm going to go with the man who yet to win a World Championship, but he's still up there fighting against people who's still trying to get there on that main stage win. And I'm going to go with Nathan Aspinall. I think he's got it in him to get to a good stage in this tournament. I don't know if he'll win it, but when you're looking at who can gather me points and stuff, I think Nathan Aspinall could easily get me some good earned points. Now, looking at the next contender, I'm going to go with a man that we haven't seen much of him on the Pro Tour, but he has had some good runs in some tournaments. And I'm going to go with Mike De Decker. Now, this for me is it's a 50-50 shot, don't get me wrong. It could work out for me. It could be one of my transferred players. However, I just have a feeling that Mike De Decker could bring some fight, and I'm hoping to see him do well in this tournament because I do like Mike De Decker. I think he brings a nice offering to the table. Yeah, he ranked 18, but ranking sometimes doesn't mean anything because Littler's ranked number 1, but Littler could lose in his first round. I'm not saying he's going to, but he could. So I've got faith in Mike De Decker, and if not, if it fumbles, I can always transfer him out. Now, looking at the ones to watch, guys, my first one to watch, initially, I'm going Michael Smith. Now, he's got hopefully, I wouldn't say it's an easy first round match. It can be tough if Lisa Ashton brings her A game, but I think Michael Smith can win his first round, get me some points, and I think Michael Smith wants to be back in that ranking area. He wants to be back at the top. He's a world champion. He knows how the stage works. He knows the mindset needed to win it. And I'm hoping Michael Smith can be on a comeback and try and get to a decent stage in the tournament. I don't think he'll win it, but I think he could easily get to the quarterfinals or semi-finals, and he can give some of the big guys a real good match. Now, my last ones to watch is a bold choice, but I'm going to back her, and I'm going Bo Greaves. I think she could easily beat Daryl Gurney in her first match, and I think she could easily produce some amazing darts at Ali Pali. We've seen her against Luke Littler, we've seen her against Gary Anderson, we've seen her against Michael Van Gerwen. We know Bo Greaves can produce some magical darts, and I think she could be a dangerous person in this tournament, and especially next year when she joins the Pro Tour fully. Now, an outsider for me is, I'm going to go with a guy who I think has been pretty decent on the Pro Tour, and I'm going to go with Luke Woodhouse. I think he's got a nice composure to him. Again, it reminds me of Danny Noppert. He doesn't fear who he faces. He just turns up, throws darts, and I think he could produce some good points for me as well. Now, a long shot is I'm going with a young man, Keane Barry. Now, he's not always had the best run in the World Championships, but I think he's still young, he's still got a lot of time to learn. Again, it can work like Mike De Decker. If he doesn't turn up, I can transfer him. But it all goes off that first week. Let's see how Keane Barry gets on with that first match against Tim Pussy. So, yeah, Keane Barry for me is like I said, a long shot. It probably won't win it, but it might get me a couple of points if he gets some 180s or it wins a couple of sets. It's a couple of points that I can bag in my league. And finally, last but not least, is my debutant. And I'm going to go with none other than Cameron Crabtree. I believe he is upcoming. I think he's a good darts player. He can easily provide some good darts if he wants to, and hopefully grab me some great points. So yeah, that's my team. So I'm going in with this team with Cameron Crabtree, Keane Barry, Luke Woodhouse, Bo Greaves, Michael Smith, Mike De Decker, Nathan Aspinall, Danny Noppert, Michael Van Gerwen, and Luke Humphries. Now also, I need to pick a captain and a vice-captain. My captain, I'm going to go with Luke Humphries. And my vice captain is I'm going to go with Michael Van Gerwen. And that is my layout. So we're going to enter it now. And there we go. You join the public league. You can edit your picks as many times as you like until the game starts. And if you really wanted to, you can make yourself a private league with your friends. So yeah, that's me sorted. And all you have to do then is if you want to edit it, you just go into edit. And you've got your team waiting for you. So just wanted to put that out there. What Fantasy Darts is, and if you're interested in it, just join up. It's a bit of fun. It's a bit of laugh. You never know, you might win. But that's been Josh from JR All Things Life, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.